Beyond a shadow of a doubt, gut health problems are dramatically on the rise, and people are suffering more and more with gut health issues. The worst part is they're not finding solutions. When you have these gut health issues and you go to your doctor, in most cases your doctor will either tell you to, deal with it, live with it, or maybe even give you a medication, which you probably don't want. But the truth is that you rarely actually get real world advice that gets to the root cause of your gut health concern. And let me tell you, gut health problems can really spiral out of control. So you have to make sure that you're getting a handle on them sooner rather than later. So let's go ahead and dive in. But before we do, I'm Dr. Nick Zarowski, and welcome to the channel. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you don't ever miss any of my natural health videos. Now, I will also put a link in the description below to this particular article if you want to read it yourself and also learn more about some of the other things they're talking about in here that I don't cover in far detail. So, 6 ways to improve your gut health, okay? Now, your gut health is wildly important, okay? And it's estimated that 70 million people in the United States suffer with digestive issues. I personally think it's probably even more than that, honestly. I mean, there's so many people. If you think about like 100 million people having like pre-diabetes, think of how many people are walking around with gut issues and don't even know it's happening, right? Now, when you look at gut issues, they don't always just show up as in you're having, bloating and distension and pain in your gastrointestinal area. Not always are they going to show up like that. Sometimes they'll show up in the way of skin rashes, autoimmune disorders, and even a weakened immune system. So if you want to keep your whole body healthy, you essentially have to keep your gut health in check. And the reason for that is because your gut will act on many systems of the body, your brain health, your thyroid health, your hormone health, everything. Now, signs of an unhealthy gut. Everyone is susceptible to digestive problems at some point. They say in this article from New Vision Health Center. You have diarrhea, constipation, or sometimes nausea. Most of these will resolve in a day or two in many cases. Some other times, it could be signs of a problematic issue. If you're losing weight without trying to or notice blood in your stool, you need to get medical advice to make sure everything is okay. Now, the reason that you actually lose weight you're not trying to if you have gut problems is because you're not digesting your food, okay? So on a very light scale gut issue, you're going to find yourself just starting to have a whole bunch of nutritional deficiencies, right? Maybe you don't even know you have a gut issue and you're getting all these nutritional deficiencies because you're not absorbing your food correctly. However, if you have like a really bad gut issue, like an ulcerative colitis or a Crohn's or something along those lines, you'd be in a position where, you're losing weight, you're not trying to, and you'll probably have blood in your stool if you're paying attention. A lot of times it's going to show up as like dark black, okay, not necessarily red. It could be either or. It just depends on where the ulcers are, where the bleeding is in your digestive tract. Now, the other thing to consider here, too, is that many people do have some sort of bleeding. Every time I've ever come across somebody who has bleeding in some area of their body, and you can identify this through lab testing, when you look at labs and you see that somebody has certain deficiencies, you go, this person's got to be bleeding from somewhere. And every time it's always been from the gut. So we have to make sure that we're addressing these issues. Most of the time, digestive or gut issues are not something to worry about, but are the body's way of signaling something is off. You can think of it as when a light goes off on your car dashboard, it may be something important, or it may just be something that you should check under the hood. Skin issues can be another sign. As I mentioned, autoimmune problems can stem from gut issues, and this is a huge one. Diabetes and arthritis can develop and worsen when you have an unhealthy gut. Now, if you are a diabetic, you are guaranteed to have an unhealthy gut. Like, they just go together so well. And I'm talking about a type 2 diabetic. And so there's not a type 2 diabetic out there without an unhealthy gut. And that's important to realize because it just destroys your gut. So let's talk about a couple natural ingredients that they're going to mention in this article. But before I do want to mention I started a brand new YouTube channel. We're doing all kinds of fun content over there, types of content that we don't normally do. I'm doing health illustrations on a whiteboard, and we're talking about all kinds of topics like baking soda detoxes, how to tighten loose skin, anti-aging, I mean, you name it. So go on over to the channel. You can check it out right up here in the corner. I'll also put links in the description below and at the end of this video. Watch some of these videos, comment, come and hang out with us, and I look forward to seeing you there. But certainly don't miss out on this, because there is definitely life-changing information over there that is going to help you improve your health naturally, and is far different than the content we're doing on the other channel. So don't miss it. Let's dive into the glutamine, okay? Glutamine is an amino acid, and it supports your gut microbiome. Okay, the gut microbiome is the bacteria that lives in your gut. Okay, that's basically the cultures of bacteria. So think of like you having a family with a lot of diversity within your gut of bacteria. That's what your microbiome is. It increases gut mucosal wall strength. It helps modulate inflammation. And the other thing it will do is it'll help protect your nervous system, okay? Because what's going to happen is it's going to basically act favorably upon the gut-brain axis. Poor gut health can change the neurotransmitter balance, which can also cause various neuropsychiatric conditions, okay? So understand that your gut health literally can cause psychiatric conditions, okay? Don't underestimate how important your gut health is. Glutamine is the most abundant amino acid in the body and looks to help mitigate gut damage. It also increases your gut health. So this is something that is definitely really, really good for repairing the gut lining. Now let's talk about licorice benefits, okay? Now it's this is funny because the article says it and it's very true. Some people think of licorice as a candy that nobody should be eating. When we mention licorice, we are not referring to Twizzlers. We are referring to the root. Licorice is a root, and it's healthy for our bodies. It has gotten used for centuries for gut health. It helps modulate the immune system, and since 60 to 70% of our immune system function happens in the gut, we need nutrients in order to improve our gut health. The licorice root extract can also fight H. pylori and bacterium that gets inside the body and lives in the digestive tract. Okay, so that's actually really important. It's good at fighting bacterial infections, with a lot of people get this in the gut, and also the H. pylori infections. And let me tell you, if you get the H. pylori, it's awful, because not only do you get it, but like other people in your house tend to get it, and it just spreads, and it can be very difficult to get rid of. Some people live with it forever, and it just destroys their health. Aloe vera and the benefits it has to offer. This is another very important nutrient that you can use. Okay, so many people have heard about this, how it soothes sunburns, but it also, beyond healing those wounds, is good at healing your gut health. Aloe vera is effective at treating ulcers. It also has anti-inflammatory mechanisms that can decrease gastric secretions. Aloe vera has also the benefit of fighting H. pylori. And so if you've gotten a diagnosis of irritable bowel syndrome, you may find aloe vera very beneficial. It can have a laxative effect and is most helpful in a constipation issue. So this is also very good. And then arabinogalactin for gut health, okay? So although you probably haven't heard of arabinogalactin, it's been part of a diet, healthy diet, for thousands of years. It's a polysaccharide and is very abundant in plants and seeds, and you can find it in veggies like carrots and radishes, or fruits like pears. Studies have shown that arabinogalactin, people who are using it had fewer viral infections, and also it helped decrease the length of a viral infection if you did have one. So this is something that's really, really good. Helps stimulate the immune system. Really, really good. So I'm a big fan of that too. Now, how diet affects gut health. Okay, it's very important to understand that the reason that many people have gut health issues today is because of the dietary issues at hand. Many people are eating foods that are full of processed synthetic chemicals. Lots of different sprays and chemicals from the crops and the fruits that are specifically designed to kill bugs. Well, if you consume these fruits and vegetables with these harsh chemicals on them, they actually can kill the bugs within your own body, which isn't good. So one of the things that is good to help strengthen your microbiome is, beyond taking a probiotic, is going to be using different things like fermented drinks and fermented foods like sauerkraut and kimchi, according to this article. You also want to avoid foods that have artificial sweeteners. They can wreak havoc on your gut. I also want to mention, if you're somebody who's following a healthy diet, you got to be careful. Sometimes things like erythritol and some of these sugar alcohols like xylitol are very stressful on the gut too, so be careful with that. So stress in your gut. One of the things that's pretty interesting is that for the past 2 years, most of us have dealt with some sort of stress, right? And a lot of stress. Research shows that psychological stress and interruption of sleep patterns will actually destroy your gut health. So if you're somebody who's under a lot of stress, it not only wrecks your microbiome, right? The bacteria we talked about, but also just kind of destroys. I mean, people get ulcers because of stress, right? You've heard of this. So healing your gut the right way is important. Using these natural ingredients, changing your lifestyle, eating good healthy foods are all very powerful ways to improve your gut health and, of course, fix your gut the right way. I'll put a link to this article from New Vision Health Center in the description below if you want to learn more. Other than that, go ahead and check out my new YouTube channel by clicking right over here.